the Blakamix studio comes Imperial.
Okay, can you tell us how you first got involved in music?
It all started, you could say, from when I bought my first bass guitar. You know, doing my paper round and everything. That's how I first got into music, and then just got interested in mixing discs and so forth, and just decided I'm going to build a studio setup, and it all began from there, basically.
Did you do stuff with sound systems when you were younger? Is that how you came up?
No, it was mainly working with, well, I did start working with a band, so to speak, and then just branched off by doing stuff on my own. I found that things worked better working on my own, and yeah.
So when did you decide to set up the studio? What year would have that been?
I think it was around about 85, 84, because I put out my first release in 86. Yeah, so I think it was around about then I started setting up the studio.
Right, and what was your plans when you first set up the studio? What was your sort of objectives at the time in terms of working with people and so on?
It was just to make music and, make music and have a good time, basically. But, I mean, I found that there's more to it than just making music and hoping records will sell. There's a lot of work that has to go into. You have to work it as a business, Yeah.
Yeah, because at that time you got quite a lot of publicity when the album came out, the Dancehall Thriller, and there was a lot of different artists on the album, but nobody seems to know where the artists are these days. They're on the LP, and then what's happened to them all the artists you were working with in the early days?
And in those days, I've learnt a lot from those days, yeah. I mean, there's artists that are still about, yeah, but from that release, I learnt a lot about the business, working with artists and so forth, so I come at things a bit different now, yeah. That's not to say that I don't work with those artists anymore, still do, yeah.
And your first records were mainly dancehall, they were all dancehall tunes mainly, the LP and the 12-inch that came out. How successful were they at that time?
Yeah, my first releases, you could say, were dancehall, yeah. The response was, you could say, mediocre, as, it was a new setup and everything, yeah. But, at the same time, I still had a lot of, the majority of stuff I really had at the time were really roots, yeah. But at the time, as you know, everybody just wanted to hear dancehall, blah, 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 yeah. So we thought that would be the best thing to come with, yeah.
Hey, son boy, face reality. Your song, Oh, killer, it's a system. Oh, no, we are to killer, it's a system. No guy come traffic taste, your entertainment by the base, yeah. No guy come traffic taste, your entertainment by the base, oh. We are your killer, this a system, oh no. We are your killer, this a system, oh. Don't try to string up against me. You done did that, baby. Say this ain't no auction, this a soul competition, yeah. Killer, this a system. Whoa, we are your killer, this a system. Oh well, this a system respect. Leave this sound just trace back. This a song, me say I am mighty. So don't come and try this me. Killer, this a system. Won't you know, we are your killer. Hey, are your killer. Oh, we are your killer. Ooh, are you killer. Oh, well. Na. Right. After you be happy, laugh, cause yourself. Yes, me think I'm the massive and relax. After you be happy, laugh, cause yourself. Killer, it's a system. Whoa, we are your killer, it's a system. Hey, I am tired of playing little songs like you. Cause all you can do, shout your mouth and argue. Whoa, when reality touches you, you can't take it. No, when reality touches you, you want to fight it. Well, we are your killer, this a system. Oh well, we are your killer, this a system. You know, yes. No trying to string against me, 'cause you don't lose a
All the music that you make, it's you who's primarily playing all the instruments on the rhythm tracks. Who's your influences been?
Yeah, it's me playing most of the instruments and that, yeah. Influences in the music business. Well, in the business, you could say people like Shaka on the root side of things and Professor, you know, those were the guys who influenced me from an early stage, you know, and also even coming up, you know, people like Jammies, Scorpio. I mean, a lot of the guys from Jamaica, studios and that, you know, I took a lot of interest in that sort of thing, yeah.
What sort of music do you tend to listen to at home? Because you seem to do a vast amount of sort of ragga type stuff and a lot of steppers. What's your where's your personal preference lie?
Oh man, I can listen to anything really and truly, yeah. Because as a music man, you know, you have to, yeah. But I have to say, deep down, I love roots more so than anything. That's what I started with, yeah. But I still can listen to other forms of music, yeah.
A couple of years ago you released the LP New Dimension dub, which was one of the few dub LPs released around that time when things were just starting bubbling. Why did you decide to release a Roots album when all your previous releases had all been dancehall and there wasn't really much of a Roots scene happening at that time?
Because, as I said earlier on, everybody seemed to want ragga or the dancehall, yeah. So I thought that might be a better thing to do. And I found when I did release the Dimension, I got a better response, and it's still selling up to this day, yeah.
There was a big break between the New Dimension album coming out and the latest one, Dub Light Wildfire. What's been happening in those couple of years?
There was a lot of things really, financial and, you know, just changing things up a bit in the studio and everything. You know, there's a lot of things happening between that time, but everything's sorted out now, and I think the public can look forward to, you know, hearing more from Blakamix.
Can you tell us something about the studio setup that you've got? What sort of things you're using at the moment? Are you doing your stuff on computer?
The majority of stuff now, yeah, in the studio we mix with computer feel, yeah, but we try and keep a lot of things live as well, as to get a more, you know, feel. I feel that's important for the roots sort of stuff, yeah. So we mix the feel, you know.
Can you tell us something about the artists that you're working with at the moment? Who are they?
Well, right now I'm working with a lot of new artists, yeah, like Special A, Foxy, Wayne MacArthur, Martini Special still there. People like Levi, Tate Levi still there. You know, some of the old ones are still there as well. But you know, some new artists as well. You know, come a bit fresh.
You've also got another label which is called Bassphere, which releases acid house tunes. Why did you decide to set up a label that was producing those sort of musics as well as releasing reggae?
Do we have to talk about that label? Right, that label basically was set up to cater for more the rave stuff, yeah. I personally don't play any of the tracks on that sort of stuff. I just act as a record company, in the sense that I license the tracks and release them, yeah.
So you're not actually making any music like that?
No, I don't make it at all, no.
And up to date now, you've got this album out, Dub Light Wildfire. How successful has this LP been?
At present it's going very well, yeah. It's the bestseller so far we've done. And you know, it's going well abroad as well. We've been shipping it out to places like Germany, France and Italy, you know, so it's going alright.
where do you see the music going forward, and what's your views on the state of the music at the moment?
The music itself in England, I don't think, you know, it's going on too well, yeah? But the roots stuff is emerging. Excuse me. The roots seems to be emerging quite well right now, yeah? And especially abroad. I think the scene for reggae, you know, in the future is going to be more abroad, you know, and I think artists are going to have to start thinking more seriously about going abroad, you know, touring and so forth, because that's where the scene is. I don't think it's in England, you know, as strong as what it was before.
Where do you see yourself going in the next few years in terms of your future plans for yourself and the label?
Well, basically international, I hope. So I make everything big still, you know what I mean? And, you know, just basically, I want to just, with the artists I've got now, I want to try and this time, you know, work it more on a serious level. And, you know, just get them to a heights whereas, you know, probably get some albums behind us and everything so we can go abroad. Probably try and get some tours or something together, you know? Just work it, you know?
Can you tell us what new releases you're expecting to put out over the rest of 92 and into 93? What sort of stuff's in the pipeline?
I think you'll be seeing mainly albums from Blakamix in the future, 92, 93. In the pipelines, we've got an album to be released in September called Ragga Culture, yeah? Which will be a various set, vocals and dubs and outright dub tracks, rootical dub tracks, yeah? Also, we have lined up an album by Special A, yeah? Another album, dub album for Christmas, hopefully, yeah, dub series 3. And like the artists I'm working with as well, I want to concentrate and get some tracks done so as we can get, you know, albums by the other artists as well, yeah? That's where I see the business, you know, going more for the albums.
Do you have a message to send out to all the people listening to the interview?
I just want to say respect to all the people who went out and, you know, supported me and bought the album, you know, and made it a great success, you know, because without the people, you know.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time out today to talk to us. Respect for the future.
Yeah, well, thanks Rootsman, and thanks for having me, you know, respect.
Johnny,